Hello and welcome to another episode of Fintech Focus TV with me, Toby Babb. We are here with the stars of FIX NextGen. How are we all?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Listen, great to have you all here in the studio. Let's start with some intros. Ruggi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, thanks. Rugiyya Gahramanli, I'm Business Development Manager at Equities Trading Team at London Stock Exchange and Turquoise.
Perfect. Christian.
Christian Schmid, sales at Cboe Clear.
Alex Ings, I'm a product manager at UBS. I'm also co-chair of the FIX NextGen steering committee.
Fantastic. So FIX NextGen is something which you've all been very involved in. We were hoping to catch up at the FIX EMEA trading conference, but we decided, look, it's so good, we need to bring you into the studio to talk about it a little bit more. It was a manic day, a great day over there, a great turnout, and NextGen was very much represented all the way through it, particularly with the NextGen bar and everything else in between it, but we won't go too much into detail there. I love the fact that FIX has been investing so much into NextGen, and I know you guys have been there. We've seen this sort of team grow and grow as it comes through, and more stuff coming through about NextGen now. So tell us a little bit about where it all started, what the origin story is and what NextGen's doing.
Yeah, so one of the big kind of important areas is kind of demystifying electronic trading. You know, we all know how important the FIX network is for execution, post-trade, the full kind of life cycle of trading, but there's also a lot of people that don't know what that's about. So a lot of demystifying as a kind of key topic for new entrants to the market in terms of graduates, but also surprisingly, it's people that have been in the industry for quite a while getting involved in that as well.
Fantastic. And what's it look like? Tell us some of the sort of initiatives that you've been involved in. What have you been doing to bring those people together?
Yeah, I was actually going to say, there are so many prominent figures in the industry that we all know about.
Yeah.
Yet we felt like the next gen of leaders in trading, where normally don't get to be represented on the panels or don't get that spotlight. And what our goal, our mission in the committee is to give the spotlight to the younger generation, make sure we help them through their career as they navigate the industry, as they become those leaders of tomorrow. One of the initiatives we did recently, it's coming out very soon, I promise. We're, I think, almost filming the third episode of it sometime soon. So it's a FIX NextGen podcast series initiative we started actually this year, informed the audience earlier at FIX EMEA conference as well. First episode, I think, is almost ready. Second one is filmed. We're full force on it. And the idea behind the whole series, again, going back to my previous point, to help the younger generation or those who want to enter the industry to understand the ecosystem better. There are so many different participants, venues. There are sell side, buy side, there are tech providers. And for someone who is new, they might not, there is no textbook. They can't just open and say, okay, who are the participants? How do they interact? And what's their importance? What's the role of regulators in the whole thing? So the role of the importance, I think, for the podcast is to educate. So when you listen to it, it's going to be very much explanatory and directed to that younger audience, even like towards those who are trying to enter the trading industry. Could be this year's graduates at uni, so very junior level. But also, I think the beauty of it as well is because we're interviewing people who have years of experience, on average 20 plus. These people also share their own like personal stories, which adds that personality, character, and the friendliness, and how like there are so many different backgrounds and paths to the industry. Not again, there is no textbook, guidebook, kind of how to enter financial services or trading. From the first episode, I know when I heard Richard Worrell's story, very inspiring. So I can't wait actually for the wider industry to hear as well. And then the same, and the more people I know, there is no clear path. Everyone's story as well as like what they share is so important.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will I know. I think I talked a little bit too much about the podcast.
Well, that's what you want to hear, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's the fact
also,
you're
it's
passionate
probably
about it.
I am actually indeed, yeah, and I think it's because
You surprised yourself.
I am very much like happy that we started it, because when I joined the industry a few years ago, I didn't have that kind of like the bigger picture and how it all fits together, and I'm glad that we, as part of NextGen committee, now building it like an archive of things for the next gen.
Yeah, I mean, to what Christian said earlier, it's, part of it is about demystifying the industry for people that are new to it.
Yeah.
One of the things we're doing in the podcast is putting together a series on market structure. So, not always the most interesting of topics, but what we're trying to do is...
There's a whole lot of market structure people now who are shaking their heads.
They'll hate me. But, we're really trying to break it down into small chunks, maybe 5-minute nuggets, so that people, if you've heard of the consolidated tape, but you don't really know about it, you're too scared to ask, you can just, have a look at the podcast and say, okay, and get a good idea of it.
Encyclopedia of buzzwords.
I think that's also a testament as well to the kind of evolution of FIX NextGen as a group. So when we started, there was like six people, and I think we took part in a kind of like a demystifying. But what was it? It was like a
Equities 101.
Equities 101, kind of saying, look, this is what front-end execution looks like all the way down to post-trade settlement and what clearing is, for example. And now we're doing podcasts. So we've gone from a 101 to podcast. So it's good and it's progress and it's
electronic world, right? We're going to have now everything update the cloud.
But the other part of it, when you talk there about sort of electronic worlds that we live in, FIX has always been something I've been very passionate about because it's great at bringing people together. And there's a sort of tribe of people who you meet and grow with over the sort of years. And it's been a brilliant community of being able to bring people together and allow people to learn, to develop, to grow. And actually, when I started in the industry a long, long time ago, it was very sort of no one wanted to share their toys, and it was always very secretive. I think what FIX has done brilliantly is allow people to learn and develop together, and this is part of that journey, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with FIX, there are a lot of people already in the community that really benefit from that. I mean, I think we've all made some really, colleagues, new friends from FIX going to the conferences and that sort of thing. But we need to provide new people in the industry with a bit of a way in. So that's where the FIX NextGen hopefully can help, introducing people to the concept of, from the basics of what is FIX, why is it there, what does it do, to all of the working groups. There's a huge amount of effort that goes in on all the working groups, but it's not always that straightforward to understand what are they, what do each one cover, how can you get involved even. So that's something that we're also trying to publicise and get across to people.
And how do people get involved in the whole thing? How do people who are sat there in this world suddenly say, right, I'd like to find out a little bit more about NextGen, I want to be part of it? What does that actually look like in practice?
Maybe we should probably improve that process a little bit. I think at the minute it's been pretty much word of mouth. I mean, the committee itself was 6 people, it's now 18. They're from various asset classes, buy side, sell side, tech firms. But maybe, I don't know, it's a good question.
What should probably take away and think about?
I think this year, because at FIX EMEA conference, FIX NextGen, the pub and cafe concept that we mentioned earlier, because it was part of the agenda.
You notice I only mentioned the pub piece. That's on there.
It was cafe in the morning. So because it was like part of an agenda, it was, I think, first time when we got like an official recognition as part of the agenda. That was quite important, I think. So a lot of people knew, and that helped with the engagement as well. So some people would come actually looking for where is it, because they saw it in the agenda. And it kind of became that spot where the younger generation, NextGen, came, and there was we had a list where they could drop their email address for us to then have like a list of contacts to communicate our future events or initiatives. So that was a good contact gathering exercise as well to help build that NextGen community, bring it together.
That's how communities grow, right? It's where it sort of builds out as word of mouth and more people see it, and then when you can start talking about it and seeing it so much more.
Agree. And actually we had like a few people who joined the committee after the FIX EMEA. So we got like new committee members after that exercise. So to add to Christian's point, definitely so far it's been word of mouth, but I think because we've got that recognition at FIX EMEA and the initiatives, be it podcast, also we're doing the mentorship scheme this year as well. It's just kicking off.
And what does that look like?
I mean, I think it's one area that I'm particularly excited about. So everybody knows how important a mentor is in your career and for growth. But this kind of it's pairing people up from different firms and different kind of parts of the industry. So you're going to get that kind of additional flavour of somebody that's might be in fixed income or equities, at a bank, a buy side, or indeed a tech firm. So that's kind of what it looks like, and it's pretty exciting.
Perfect. And I know there's been ideas and thoughts about bringing people together. There's been various different networking events and meetups and all that sort of thing. Again, focused on building some of the skills that people need, not just in terms of a knowledge basis of the actual intricacies of the industry, but actually some practical things like networking and how people can get together. Talk to us about what that's looked like and how they've gone.
Yeah, I mean, the social events are obviously always popular, clearly. But yeah, we've tried to take that a little bit further by offering some people something a little bit back as well. So we've run a number of education events, as you say. There was one on networking that we did recently that was very well attended. Really just giving people a little bit more information and something that they can take away, as well as the social aspect and obviously getting to meet new people as well.
Yeah, I love that fact, and I think it's been so much a part of that DNA of FIX, as we were talking about beforehand, where it's not just the ability to come and learn, but it's the ability to, as you say, build friendships, connections, contacts, etc., etc. It's done really well.
I reckon the silver lining between the mentorship scheme, but at the same time knowing each other within the NextGen community is because while it's really important to learn from those with expertise already who have like multiple years behind them, it's also equally important to know the future leaders who will be there with you in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're doing at NextGen, helping the current generation to grow, but at the same time to connect with those who will be there shoulder to shoulder in a few years' time.
I've mentioned this a couple of times when speaking to the FIX guys. It feels like, I've been doing it for 15, 20 years with FIX, and there's a bunch of people there who you know and have been around for a long sort of time, and it's the same sort of group. And you think, a few years ago, you thought, where is that NextGen coming? And I think it was recognised, and people started to invest in that, and it's becoming a much more diverse sort of group as you see it coming through as the event continues to get bigger and more people come through. There's still the faces there that you know and expect, but there's a whole bunch of new people coming in as well, which is brilliant to see, right?
Yeah.
And we started also, like, in terms of new faces, we started now actively encouraging participation on the panels as well.
Yes.
This year, I joined the AI panel. It was last panel of the day at FIX EMEA, 4 p.m. one. But it was a good run, good practice for me as well.
I did that the year before that shift. It's not an easy one.
To be honest, I think because there was a panel before mine on AI, but from like very tech-heavy perspective, that kind of softened on what I can say on my end at my panel. So yeah, but it's a step, foot on the door. That's the phrase, right? Foot on the door. You can say I didn't grow up in the UK. I'm still like learning the phrases. So as more of these conferences go, and we already had like one meeting with Matt Coop and Rebecca Haley, where they both joined us at the NextGen meeting following the conference. And I think there is now interest, more and more participation from younger generation to join the panels. Again, putting a spotlight on them and letting them to shine early on in their careers.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant to do that as well. I had a real privilege a couple of years ago, so it was the conference before last, to do a panel with people there, and I think almost everyone on the panel had been doing it for the first time. And actually to see them go through that and to be in front of an audience like that and to see that confidence, the nerves come through and then the confidence do it. It's always the most difficult one, isn't it? When you do that first sort of thing. And actually seeing people come through is brilliant.
Yeah, it's really important to give people that opportunity because, as you say, it is very daunting when you first do it, regardless of, it's daunting for me, still. So it's good to give people an opportunity to speak out, be that on moderating a panel, speaking on a panel, or even just introducing one. To give them that experience and, as you say, confidence to do it more.
Do you think it gets easier?
No. No.
No, but it's good though. I mean, you're pushing kind of your personal boundaries, I guess, until you have a taste of that. You don't get over it until you do, right? So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, there's a lot of companies there. We've seen companies sponsor the meetups. We've seen people come into that. There's always, you know, I think it's a community that's always been very keen to have companies there who are ready to get involved in things and put things behind. So I assume that's an important part of this as well for NextGen. How can companies get involved, and what are companies doing to support that movement?
So sponsorship is hugely important. We've had companies sponsor the FIX NextGen Hub in the past. We might have upcoming events sponsored by various companies. So I would say if you do want to sponsor anything to do with FIX, then just reach out to either FIX or myself, Alex, Rugi, whoever.
Particularly if you have a roof garden.
This time of year we're in. We've also seen, as you say, the committee grow. Is there still open for more people to want to get involved in that, and how do they do that?
Absolutely, yeah. We don't really have a set number of people on the committee, and by nature, you know, some people come in and come out. Different people have been on it for different amounts of time. So yeah, we're always looking for new people to get involved if they're interested. If they are not interested in being on the steering committee, but they still want to be involved and just find out about what NextGen are doing, again, just contact the FIX team. All of the information is on the website. They can sign you up to the mailing list, and then you'll find out about all of the events that we're putting on, as well as anything else that's going on.
It's definitely a more the merrier system.
Fantastic. And that goes, I imagine, for the NextGen as well. So if people are out there, it's the same routine. They go in there and sign up and find out a little bit more and get involved in events and the process and everything else in between it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, love the work you're doing on it. Keep it up. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing all that information with us as well today. Any final thoughts from anyone? Get involved.
Get involved, absolutely.
There you have. You
Thank
heard it
you.
here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Fintech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.